Hi, this is Kirsten Hodgins. I'm an awakening and empowerment coach and psychic medium. Sometimes when I have clients who are in the hustle and bustle, which is sometimes referred to as the busyness syndrome, they feel like anxiety and stress is just a part of the control, that if they let it go, that they will fail. And what I want to talk about is surrendering, because a lot of clients think that if they drop the ball that they will fail. But what they're doing is they're closing themselves off to be able to really tap in and tune into the infinite mind, that wisdom, that creativity. Surrendering does not mean that you're giving your power away. What it means is that you're shifting into a state of going with the flow. You're broadening your perspective. You're letting go of your will that things have to show up, and you're attached to the outcomes. And so what I help people do is to surrender their will to go with the flow. And no sooner do we do that, do we soften into the what is, and we begin to get creative, and we have this power, this self up-leveled of empowerment that comes through, where we can start to make shifts in our thinking and the way we perceive things, so that we could begin to work with the nature of life itself that's showing up. And it's the universe itself that we are co-creating with. And when we have left that aspect out, then we're push and struggling, and we're coming from our own will, and we've left out that whole support system that comes from the co-creation with the universe. If I'm judging something to be good, bad, or unwanted, then how could I open up to see the blessing it brings? There's going to be lack of opportunity, and I'm going to be pushing and struggling and throwing in and having so much fear and uncertainty that I'm going to be creating more and more of it. So when we have surrender, we practice being able to shift. It's not letting it go. It's not saying that I give up. Really what we're doing is we're giving ourselves permission to open up to the mind of the infinite, so that we could see a broader perspective. And we're not making a mountain out of a molehill. We've come down to the base of the mountain, and we've said, well, maybe there's another way up this. And it's not about conquering the mountain or conquering the wave. It's about going with the natural flows and ebbs of life. And how we do that is we take a look at what surrendering really means. If we say, oh, I'm going to give in, I'm going to throw the towel in, and I'm going to fail, what we're doing is we're thinking about the opposite way, which is why we have such a tight hold, and we're basically having an attachment to the outcome and what we need to see in order to feel safe. And if that's what your ego is pulling the cart, and it's saying that the current circumstances in your life has power over you. But really, when we surrender, we are literally opening up our ability to be more insightful, to broaden our perspective, to expand our consciousness into the circumstances. And we begin to get a little bit more creative, and we can begin to have this looseness, this little bit more of, wow, we can really appreciate the things that are going well for us. And when we get into that mode of surrendering, we begin to amplify our power that comes from within and our ability to see things differently.